When life seems hard, the courageous do not lie down and accept defeat. Instead, they are all the more determined to struggle for a better future. It is through this lens of history that we should view the conflicts of today, and so give us hope for tomorrow. Although we are capable of great acts of kindness, history teaches us that we sometimes need saving from ourselves, from our recklessness or our greed. Our modern world places such heavy demands on our time and attention that the need to remember our responsibilities to others is greater than ever. Over the years, I have observed that some attributes of leadership are universal, and are often about finding ways of encouraging people to combine their efforts, their talents, their insights, their enthusiasm, and their inspiration, to work together. Even when your life seems most monotonous, what you do is always of real value and importance to your fellow men. I cannot lead you into battle. I do not give you laws or administer justice, but I can do something else. I can give you my heart and my devotion to these old islands and to all the peoples of our brotherhood of nations. It's worth remembering that it is often the small steps, not the giant leaps, that bring about the most lasting change. I declare before you all that my whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service. I have in sincerity pledged myself to your service, as so many of you are pledged to mine. Throughout all my life and with all my heart I shall strive to be worthy of your trust. I have sometimes thought that humanity seemed to have turned on itself, with wars, civil disturbances, and acts of brutal terrorism. This world is not always an easy or a safe place to live in, but it is the only place we have. The wartime generation, my generation, is resilient. The function of constitutional monarchy is to personify the democratic state, to sanction legitimate authority, to assure the legality of means, and guarantee the execution of the public will. It is my ardent desire that no citizen in my realms should suffer restraint. We know the reward is peace on earth, goodwill toward men, but we cannot win it without determination and concerted effort. When life seems hard, the courageous do not lie down and accept defeat. Instead, they are all the more determined to struggle for a better future. We should take comfort that while we may have more still to endure, better days will return. We will be with our friends again. We will be with our families again. We will meet again. Everyone is our neighbor, no matter what race, creed, or color. It has been women who have breathed gentleness and care into the harsh progress of mankind. It has always been easy to hate and destroy. To build and to cherish is much more difficult. The theme this year is Women as Agents of Change. It reminds us of the potential in our societies that is yet to be fully unlocked, and it encourages us to find ways to allow all girls and women to play their full part. When peace comes, remember it will be for us, the children of today, to make the world of tomorrow a better and happier place. We may hold different points of view, but it is in times of stress and difficulty that we most need to remember that we have much more in common than there is dividing us. Some cultures believe a long life brings wisdom. I'd like to think so. Perhaps part of that wisdom is to recognize some of life's baffling paradoxes, such as the way human beings have a huge propensity for good, and yet a capacity for evil. None of us can slow the passage of time, and while we often focus on all that has changed in the intervening years, much remains unchanged, including the gospel of Christ and his teachings. Through the many changes I have seen over the years, faith, family, and friendship have been not only a constant for me, but a source of personal comfort and reassurance. I believe that, young or old, We have as much to look forward to with confidence and hope as we have to look back on with pride. As I look to the future, I have no doubt at all that the one certainty is change. But I do not think that we should be over-anxious. We can make sense of the future if we understand the lessons of the past. No age group has a monopoly of wisdom, and indeed I think the young can sometimes be wiser than us. But the older I get, the more conscious I become of the difficulties young people have to face as they learn to live in the modern world. Over the years, those who have seemed to me to be the most happy, contented and fulfilled have always been the people who have lived the most outgoing and unselfish lives. We have all been trying in our different ways to cope. It is not easy to express a sense of loss, since the initial shock is often succeeded by a mixture of other feelings: disbelief, incomprehension, anger, and concern for those who remain. We have all felt those emotions in these last few days. She was an exceptional and gifted human being. In good times and bad, she never lost her capacity to smile and laugh, nor to inspire others with her warmth and kindness. I admired and respected her for her energy and commitment to others, and especially for her devotion to her two boys. Religion and culture are much in the news these days, usually as sources of difference and conflict, rather than for bringing people together. But the irony is that every religion has something to say about tolerance and respecting others. Each day is a new beginning. I know that the only way to live my life is to try to do what is right, to take the long view, to give of my best in all that the day brings, and to put my trust in God. I know just how much I rely on my own faith to guide me through the good times and the bad. If we resolve to be considerate and to help our neighbors, to make friends with people of different races and religions, and, as our Lord said, to look to our own faults before we criticize others, we will be keeping faith with those who landed in Normandy and fought so doggedly for their belief in freedom, peace, and human decency. If I am asked what I think about family life after 25 years of marriage, I can answer with equal simplicity and conviction: I am for it. The birth of a baby brings great happiness, but then the business of growing up begins. Family does not necessarily mean blood relatives, but often a description of a community, organization, or nation. Like all the best families, we have our share of eccentricities, of impetuous and wayward youngsters, and of family disagreements.